Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the new spell that was added into the Shadow Professor. For some reason, they added a new spell called Dark Surge, and a lot of players are kind of questioning why they added this, due to the fact that this kind of has no usage. There hasn't been a time where in a fight I need to use like Donate Shadow or Dark Surge or even any of the 2-pip Shad spells. There hasn't been like an actual reason. What they should do honestly is make a fight where you could use these spells, but at the moment they generally have no usage and they haven't been tweaked at all in this update. But they did add Dark Surge, which, I mean, hey, I can see it being used at like a certain point, but really it's very niche. It's very niche. Maybe there's some hidden tech behind it, maybe for PvP, but I have zero clue why this exists. I mean, I get the idea. 2 of them cost to donate 1 Shad pip for 1 person, but this is just for 2 power pips, right? And most fights in PvE, you can literally just, you know, 1 round, 2 round, Skull Incendiate, whatever. But I can see the one spot where this is being used, and that's specifically for challenge mode. Now, the reason with challenge mode is due to the fact that whenever you do challenge mode, your spells are now 2 shads instead of 1. So if you're not going to be using a shad, for example, in challenge mode, or maybe advanced combat, and you don't have any route around it, I guess you can use this as a way to, hey, I want to get rid of my shad pips, I want to turn them into pips for someone else. I can see that, right? Maybe there's some tech behind it. That's the only usage. Maybe there's some PvP usage where I'm like, hey, I don't want to use my shad for some reason, and for some reason I just want to get 2 pips. But you are costing a turn, so keep that in mind. The cast animation is the same exact cast animation as Donate Shadow, but instead it's like you're doing Donate Pip, right? It's just the same animation, just the Shadow version. So keep that in mind when using that. I don't know if this is going to be permanent because these aren't on the patch notes. We were told that this was going to happen. There was going to be some type of change via Velma. Velma was going to have some changes to Shad spells, but this was the only thing that was added. But it's not on the patch notes currently, so keep that in mind. So definitely, they could do some other spells. I really wanted to see a spell where you can donate school pip or something like that, where you can trigger it in a way where, depending on what your school pip is on your deck, you can give a certain school pip to a player. That would be kind of nice to see down the line. I really see, if they're going to keep going the Archmastery route, I can see them doing that and maybe doing a donate school pip, right? But I know some players are asking for, hey, can we get the access of, hey, let me change my power pip on my wand and having a school pip. I don't really see that happening in my eyes. I can see them having it where like you can get a school pip for your school. So for example, if I'm on a fire, I would get a school pip by default for fire. But the only school that still doesn't benefit from this is balance. If we want to go look at Balance's spell, I don't think I have it. Like, I didn't even think I went to go get the spell elements for it. Let's double check. No, I don't went to go get the spell elements for it. But the balance spell requires a death pip, I believe, and a storm pip. Now, even if you had access to, let's say, getting an Archmastery pip round 1 via your school, it wouldn't matter for balance, because the fact that you need to have 2 other schools. Now, if you had the option to change this to whatever school, that's its own separate thing. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon, right? I think they're focusing on the deck, and I feel like it would be so much value to have 2 school pips right off the rip. It would affect PvP in a whole way, and it would affect PvE in certain matters, because the fact that you can have access to Pigsy and all these other things in advanced combat pretty easily, and you can get a guarantee school pip every time without having to worry about Archmastery. Now that would affect raids because hey, I can always use Pigsy, right? And then the Archmastery stat just wouldn't matter because I would always have a school pip, and it wouldn't force players to just, hey, I should probably focus Archmastery in a certain way. So I don't think they're gonna do that anytime soon. But I can see them doing some sort of way with Dark Surge and being a little bit different, or a different version of Dark Surge, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna give someone a school pip. I can see that happening because you're getting rid of a shad. And how often do you get shad, right? After completing Wallaroo, I've been just like, the shad rating is a little bit iffy because there's been rounds where we get shads like turn 1, right? And I can't really justify that completely because it is PvE, right? And with the new sockets, which I'll probably record a new video about, there's definitely some things that is changed. Like, for example, this being a square socket at the end instead of a triangle socket. But some of the gear is incorrect, and I can't say for sure what is correct and what isn't. There's probably some stuff that needs to be changed on here, which I'll look at in another video because, yeah, it's... Players are getting high HP. Apparently, like, life can get like 18k or like 19k, which is wild to even think about. So keep that in mind when going for like the new gear, looking at it in any sort of way, because it's not intended at the moment till next week. Next week we'll have all like the patches that need to be done. The museum's currently bugged as well. There's a lot of things that's bugged, but I mean, if you want to finish the Wallaroo quest tree, that is completely fine, right? But I don't like I said, Dark Surge, would I recommend it? You can train it if you're bored. If you want to test it out in test realm, go for it. Right now, I don't see any usage. It's very niche. It's very technical. I don't see it worth your time at all, right? Maybe this gets revamped in test realm. Maybe it just completely gets removed because they did that last year with the Goat Monk spell. That was for death. It was introduced. It was supposed to be like a new Headless Horseman free-to-play option instead of it being from packs. But then that idea got scrapped. So who knows, that spell might come back in the future, right? There's a lot of things that happens in test realm that just completely gets abolished. So who knows, maybe Dark Surge, if players don't like it, if players just don't care about it, it's either A, it's just going to sit in here with Velma and nobody's going to touch it, kind of similar to Downage Shadow. When I don't know if there's a way of seeing how many people casted a spell, if they have access to anything like that, but I don't think Downage Shadow is being used. Definitely not. I'm pretty sure like Nova and Shepherd and all these other ones that are 2 pips are being used more than Donate Shadow, if anything like that. And even then, with these spells, I would have to sacrifice my triangle sockets on some of my gear, and wanting more shad rating, which I don't know if I would want to do just so I can use those spells. But like I said, it's very niche. Do it at your own risk. But I can see this just being removed. And if it doesn't get removed and it stays, pray it gets revamped, maybe. I don't know. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. More videos coming out for Test Realm, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.